thoughts in order. I got a lot of stuff rumbling around all of a sudden.
All right, we're live now.
Nice.
And boom. Welcome, everybody, to the Xhale Outdoors podcast. I am your host, Eric Strauss. I'm here tonight with Rodman Lees. We are going back old school, doing a Shoot the Breeze style episode podcast like we used to do in the original days, episode 1.
There you go.
Through episode 5.
If you haven't seen those episodes, they're interesting. They were so much fun to record, so I'm pumped for this. I'm just sitting back, popping a few adult beverages, and I'm just talking about spearfishing, what our plans are for next year, recap of the 2018 year, what are our strategies moving forward for just spearfishing, hook and line and hunting, as well as looking back at what was our 2018 season like, and what strategies are we going to implement to make 2019 even better. What did we learn? What mistakes did we make? What went well? But more than anything, those old episodes were just fun to make, man. It's probably the most fun to make because there's no pressure. Like even like the Shore Dive Showdown, which was a blast.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there because we're gonna get into it. But before we really get into it, I gotta switch over, and we just gotta start this one out right, Welcome, everyone, to the Xhale podcast, where we talk about spearfishing, freediving gear, and good times.
Going all the way old school. We got to bring that back. We're bringing that back. 2019, the Torn Jeans intro is back.
There you go. So, for those of you that have never heard that before, it's the original intro to the Xhale podcast. The Xhale Freediving podcast.
And it's a good one.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so what I was saying is, although I'm maybe a little bit tough to listen to, it's 3 hours of beer swilling and white lie telling, but they were fun to make, and even with that Shore Dive Showdown, although I had so much freaking fun doing it, we were still trying to get the shot, and, there ain't no camera crew following us around.
Yeah.
It's us doing everything.
There's going to be plenty of that going on in 2019.
Oh, for sure.
I can tell you that right now.
No, and I'm pumped on it. I'm just saying this particular podcast of just sitting back and rolling with the punches and seeing how it goes. This is what started the podcast was us trying to just talk some story and hang out and film it and see if anyone watched. Turns out no one did, so we decided to change it up a little bit.
That's not true. 155 people did.
I stand corrected.
Actually, I take that back. Let's see, just out of curiosity, what our oldest video, episode 1. How many people tuned in to watch episode 1? Keep in mind that wasn't a live episode. This was back before we had any kind of I'm pretty sure we recorded the entire episode on a lapel mic.
Yeah, into a phone. It was just
into a phone.
Yeah, just straight into your phone.
Yeah, either that. It might have. Yeah, I think it was into the phone on the first one.
I want to say the first two were just straight into the phone.
All right. Well, that's gonna take a sec to load.
Okay.
But.
All right. So, 2018, man. What'd you think?
It was a good year.
It was a good year? Come on, man.
All in all, it was a good year.
What do you mean all in all? In that third episode, what'd you say your dream fish was?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What? You said free shaft Hawaiian sling, a massive cubera.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
What'd you shoot it with?
With a reeled Hawaiian sling line shaft.
Oh my God! Come on! You're picking hairs, man. You shot us dream fish. That thing was awesome.
No, I will definitely consider that a win. I got it up though. 275 people have watched the first episode.
That's scary because that one was real bad.
Don't so bad.
Don't judge us. Now we have actual microphones, which is good.
Just to see what.
All right, guys, welcome to.
Oh, too much volume.
First ever.
That's enough of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. The only reason I say it was a pretty good year. I wish I could have done a lot more this year. I felt like I got held back a little bit. And that's just is what it is. You know, we don't have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that 2019 is going to give me a little more time to get out and do
speaking of time,
things.
I have switched professions since the last podcast.
There you go.
And I'm going to have a lot more time to dive. So I left Florida Freedivers where I was kind of the buyer, you know. Anything that came through the store, I was the guy sending the POs out, dealing with inventory, making sure inventory was right. I'm, responsible for all sorts of stuff from, web fulfillment, was kind of under operations to buying inventory, all sorts of good stuff. My half of the shop, Eric, you were, the way I looked at it, you were kind of front of house, I was kind of back of house, same side to that.
Which is funny because you have the way more extroverted personality, and I have the way more introverted personality.
Way more technical, I would say too.
And we both faked each side very well.
You're not wrong. I never actually thought about it like that, and you're definitely not wrong.
Yeah.
But so whatever. So I left that kind of. I left Florida Freedivers behind. No bad will there. I absolutely love those guys, and they are still going to be a sponsor moving forward. Great guys, amazing shop, great crew. It was one of the most fun teams I've ever worked with. But now I'm a teacher now, so look out, Mr. Lee's coming through teaching 8th grade English.
Mr. L.
Mr. L. And
coming to my class, you take the L.
It's not wrong. I was just freaking how to whip those kiddos into shape. It's a public school up in Stewart, and really, really good kids. Great diverse mix of personalities and just backgrounds. But whatever. Enough about the school. Absolute dream job. Love teaching it. I get summers now. There we go.
That's just these.
Gotcha. I get summers now. So hopefully 2019 podcast season of the Bahamas will look way better.
Way more content coming.
And weekends. Way more content with weekends as well, which is nice.
Speaking of Florida Freedivers, though, throw them a shout out for being a sponsor of the podcast.
Original sponsor
of the podcast. So be sure to check them out here in North Palm Beach, Florida, over on North Lake Boulevard, main road over there. So,
and on the web, the website just keeps getting better and better
every day.
Every dang day.
So they're also, if you're interested, hiring currently. So if you want to send a resume into Florida Freedivers.
All positions. From retail sales floor to management level.
Yep.
So all positions.
Shoot a resume into sales@floridafreedivers.com.
Yep. It is a fun job.
We've both enjoyed it.
Yep. That's a good call, man. Good call. But so whatever. So moving forward in 2019, nothing to hold the podcast back. Hopefully we'll be getting some excellent content. Looking back at 2018 for me, I had an awesome summer. I had a blast, man. Shot some like real good fish. Every trip that I went over, I kind of had a goal, and I don't want to say that I hit the goal every year, but it was definitely like a learning experience. I pushed some new territory. I really tried to work. Just new ground, and trying to figure. Just try to do that. I'm used to hitting the same spots, but one of the ways that I really found to find new ground is, me and you. Let's say we're going to the Bahamas the next day. Sit down, bust out the chart. Either on the boat or typically on the boat, and pick 6 or 7 spots. Wherever we're going, definitely gonna hit wombat. You ass crack. There's some spots that you're gonna hit. And then 1 or 2 more your filler spots, dive spot number 1, some maybe not some high line spots, hogs and grass spot, but you'll hit some big spots. And then what I like to do and what I started really pushing this year was finding new areas. So what does, Ass-crack's a little tricky because there's not much on the map for it, but wombat's a good feature rich. You can tell that it's got some really solid features just by looking at the map. What does that look like? And then trying to find places that are similar to that or that look interesting and going and hitting those. So working our way, deeper into uncharted territory, so to speak. And I found some great spots. We found some great spots this year, so I'm stoked on that. I saw, I wasn't able to land, but I saw probably the biggest black and the biggest cubera of my life this summer. I don't know what the cuberas were doing this summer, but man, there were some big ones landed.
A lot of people shot big cuberas this summer.
Dude, well, not that anyone's ever going to break the world record. That Luke Malis' freaking 43,000 pounder just crushed it. Just crushed it. That thing looks... I've never seen a picture of it that it didn't look photoshopped. It just looks like someone took a picture of a cubera, blew it up, and just slapped it on top of whatever the photo is. Like it never looks real.
It has been cruising the Bahamas since the Mesozoic period. If that's how you say it. I have no idea.
That thing's insane. But some big ones. I saw one and I was trying to figure out what the heck it was. I knew that it wasn't a shark, but it was like the size of a shark. So I saw one of those. I saw an absolute just giant black. I mean, the thing was, I don't want to say it was bigger than 100 pounds, but I've seen some like 60, 70 pound blacks, and this thing just pooped on those. It was massive. Just a toad. It was huge. And that one we actually got to play around with a little bit. Could never get it to come in close enough, but it was so big that it didn't really run away from us either. So that was an interesting dive. That was like the wombat. That's what made that wombat spot so...
Is that the one you're talking about? The one from Wombat?
Yeah.
Was that last summer?
I think that was last summer.
God, that feels like it was forever ago.
Yeah. And I think that was like the very beginning, like spring, summer of 2018.
Huh. That was a good dive trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna go ahead and lead into 2019, but there's a couple things I wanted to touch.
I'm not even close with done with 2018. You got anything else?
I do.
You got anything else you learned? I learned some humble pie for sure. Well,
nice.
Not even humble pie. Maybe that's not right, but I love putting fish in the boat for sure. But I did my first skunked Bahamas trip where I didn't shoot a single fish.
That was that. Black grouper trip.
Yeah. I was looking for, when we saw that monster. So I didn't want to do anything short of that monster.
Maybe it wasn't that trip. That was the trip after.
Yeah, that was that trip. Exactly. That was the next one. I wanted that monster. I knew what I wanted, and I wasn't going to mess around with barely legal size, hogfish or whatever. I knew what I wanted. I had a hit list. And I wasn't deviating from the hit list.
You had a target.
I had a target. And it was funny because I went from like being bummed that I didn't shoot anything to like impressed with myself that I didn't shoot anything to bummed that I was so stupid because I'm not bringing anything back to like, no, man, that's what it's about. I like spearfishing. I'm not doing it for the gram, which is funny because we have a podcast. But I'm not doing it for the podcast. I'm not doing it to hold some dead fish up, push out some dead fish. I enjoy spearfishing. I enjoy going out there, hanging out with my buddies. Although I absolutely love shooting fish, nothing gets my blood going like being pulled back on anything, on some sand perch. Being pulled back gets my blood freaking pumping. But that's not why I do it. I had like an Instagram post a while back, and it was, do you do it? There's only a couple motivations for it. And in that experience is the number one motivation, man. And you're going to get that. You're going to get that regardless. I joke about it, but I think I know some guys that if Instagram banned spearfishing videos, they'd be done spearfishing. Where for me, like that trip in particular really cemented, like, why do I do what I do? Why is it a passion of mine? Why am I going to do it the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And I enjoy the work of it. I enjoy the process, which was really cool.
The full circle, so to speak.
I know. I almost feel like that's an inside joke, but it's a full circle, man.
Yeah.
It's the full circle.
And we're going to talk about the full circle here in a second. But I think a couple of my biggest highlights, you were talking about the cubera. Not only the cubera, but I shot 2 personal best fish in 2018. Shot my biggest mutton snapper that I've ever shot, and that Cubera snapper, both on the same trip, which is
Nice.
probably top 5 Bahamas trips I've ever been on.
It's awesome.
It was a freaking amazing time. It was a week long, which I haven't done a week long trip to the Bahamas in 2 years.
Yeah.
Something like that, which is kind of shameful. The last time I did a week long vacation to the Bahamas was the week before I got hired at Florida Freedivers. But those were probably my biggest spearfishing highlights for the year.
For sure.
Number 3, I would say my third most satisfying fish that I shot this year was the freaking spot fish, it's like a, basically.
It's called a spot.
Yeah, it's called a spot. What do they look like it's a spot pinfish, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like, imagine like a giant quarter with a black dot on it.
Yes. During the shore dive showdown, absolutely one of the most satisfying fish I shot all year.
Nice.
Spent so long trying to hunt that thing.
It's cool when it comes together and like you're not just like dive bombing on something, but you're like kind of creeping around and you're either scratching or maybe throwing like a little bit of sand.
Yeah.
And then getting it. That's another thing, man, that really took off for me in 2018 was getting my Aspetto technique down. Like I had done it before. I'd always messed around with it. But it was talking to Ryan Myers. That like exclusive interview that you did with him, exclusive, I don't know, that one-on-one that you did with him at least. And
I'd call it exclusive.
Sure. He's the best spearfisherman in the world. Like very few people will argue that he's the number one spearfisherman in the world. And so I got a chance to like listen to him talk a little bit, just talking to him more in.
Can you twist your camera a little bit?
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you. Just talk to him a little bit more. And one of the things that he dialed me in was I was throwing way too much sand. I was taking like a handful, maybe not like a massive heaping handful, but a palm-sized amount of sand and chucking it up in the air.
Like as high as you can get it.
Yeah, it was like Old Faithful going off, and I thought that's what would bring them in from further away. That's like the exact opposite of what you want to do. You want to be like subtle with it, get them curious, and that alone changed my summer as far as muttons go. I was able to, I'd always, try to be sneaky around muttons before, but I was always like sneaky sprint at them, and on the last trip that I did, I had a bunch of family there, and they're all good divers, but we grew up diving like, shallow abacos. Like if you're hitting 35, you're pushing it, and 35 to 0, we go spearfishing where you're like belly crawling on the reef, and what's beautiful about the Bahamas is you're still shooting fish. But we would push it out to like 45 or 50, and so now it's like 50-50 shot of people that are like actually putting work in their diving.
Yeah.
And I was able to just, kind of show how it's done. I impressed myself a little bit, and being able to do it in front of people that I looked up to spearfishing growing up, it was cool, man. Little brother's still holding court though, man. Jack can shoot some fish. But one day, not that I'd ever tell him that to his face, but little brother was doing good.
Nice. A couple other things for 2018. Well, I don't know about you, but me personally went back hunting for the first time in years.
Yeah.
We both went hunting this year. For me, it was the first time in a long time. Land-based hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, we hunted together a handful of times.
Yeah, and I had an awesome time doing it. It's kind of got me fired back up on the old spot and stock.
On the old spot and stock. And that's fun too, man. One of the things that one of my goals in 2018 was like, I need to figure Corbett out. Corbett's like the local WMA. It's like the public land hunting for Palm Beach County. It's 60,000 acres. So it's a big old hunk of land.
It's massive.
It's massive. And my goal wasn't even to like shoot something, although I definitely had a gun in my hands the whole time. I just wanted to like figure it out, like how does this whole thing work? Like where am I going as far as like what's good area, what's bad area, what's accessible, what's not accessible? Do you really need a swamp buggy? Can you get by with a 4x4?
Or a 2x2.
Or a 2x2. How is it? Last time we went hunting, took the minivan, and she did some work down some rutted roads. That Toyota Sienna, She does some, about yay ground clearance, but she just skids right over that.
She'll drag some subframe.
Yeah, it's that sugar sand, man. It just keeps on going.
Yeah, it's like a grater.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I took the freaking Sienna way back in there. Did 2 water crossings in it, but
you gotta be careful in that bad boy. You know, it sucks air out of the wheel well. Like the air box is hooked up to the wheel well.
Yeah, whatever. Little mud, a little like creek water in the engine's good for it, you know?
Yeah, that tannic acid really just
cleans her up.
Breaks down the carbon.
Yeah, and so while I definitely didn't get Corbett dialed, I got a little area of Corbett dialed. A little, down Johnson's hunting trail. And
that's what you do with 60,000 acres.
Yeah.
You're not going to go learn 60,000 acres in one, in one summer or one winter.
And I'm pumped on the little area that it was. We saw a ton of traffic. Saw a bunch of deer, a bunch of hogs. I had the opportunity a handful of times once with a bow in my hand, which was cool. I couldn't convert, and then a bunch of hogs with a rifle, but I didn't want to kind of kicking myself for it now, but didn't want it. It was like early in the morning. Didn't want to blow the deer hunt.
We're all kicking you.
I know. What are you gonna do? The thing was like, it was big. It was over. Let's say it's over 100 pounds.
You would have missed it anyway.
Probably. But we were pretty deep, man. I don't want to fucking drag that thing out. That would have been a good drag out.
We would not have made it to work that morning if you had shot that thing.
Should have shot it. So that was fun. We did a bunch of duck hunting too. I was gonna say that's a blast, but
I did one.
You only duck hunted once?
One duck.
No, the Double D's duck hunting. That was
last year.
Yeah, that was like last January. That's 2018, bud.
Oh wow. All right, Triple D.
So we went duck hunting. We probably went duck hunting, a handful of times, and I went duck hunting like 6 to 8 times, something like that. And so that was a blast too, figuring all that out. Got a permit this year, and that's another thing for 2019. Looking forward is definitely making sure that you get your permits in order. Getting signed up on that Go Outdoors Florida website. Constantly checking in, mark it on your calendar, get in for permits. And, if it's your first year putting in, you got no preference points, there's still a good chance that you could get it. Nothing's guaranteed. You miss it 1 year, well, at least now you got some preference points. You can get in. And it's really it's pretty straightforward, man. When I was trying to figure it out, I wasn't sure exactly like how this whole thing went and whatever. Christy kind of held my hand through most of it. But first of all, her being a badass definitely helped. And there's really not too much to it, man. Just click apply, and you apply, and then you get it, and it kind of spells it out. Not perfectly, especially with the STAs. If you're trying to do walk-ons on the STAs, which for 2019 I'm not sure if they're going to do or not, but questionable. But I hope they do. I would hate to see those hunts wasted.
Yeah. One thing we'll definitely be applying for this year are gator permits.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to get the STA, like STA 1's gator permit.
They've got some freaking gators out
there. We were hunting, and 100 feet from us. We're in like waist deep water, and 100 feet from us. Not a monster, but like an 8-footer's just hanging, cruising by.
Just looking like Titanic going out there, just steaming away.
Yeah.
That was a fun hunt. That was a good morning.
That was an awesome morning. That was a good hunt. So, yeah, a bunch of good hunts in 2018. I'm also 2018, not that I had really gotten away from it too much, but rod and reel fishing. So, fishing Lake Ida, super fun. I'm, a bunch of peacock bass. Watching you just hand snag a peacock bass just straight out of the water.
That wasn't a snag, my friend. That was a snatch.
That was a snatch it. Just snatching like a 3-4 pound peacock bass.
That was funny.
That was fun. So fishing Lake Ida, bass fishing on those lakes by your house. So, I haven't done that. I haven't done since college. So that's been a while since I've gone bass fishing.
Yeah.
But even the inshore, man, hitting the Loxahatchee. Got to go down to the Everglades, go fishing down there. That was, you want to talk about some fun snook fishing? Going hiring a guide and doing the Everglades.
I did that when I was real young with my dad. We had a ton of fun.
We probably caught, so it was my brother and I, we probably caught close to 50 snook in a morning.
I'm looking for that peacock bass picture.
I don't know. It's on my Instagram somewhere. But we caught like 25 apiece. It was we probably hit 100 spots, and it was every cast.
There it is. Look at that.
Boom. Freaking dry hand snatched that thing. It was basking on the surface.
It's like a 4-pound. That thing was not basking. Whatever the deal was with that fish, it wasn't lively. This was not a skilled capture. But we'll call it that.
Yeah.
Who else knows besides anybody watching this?
Yeah. So fly fishing in the Everglades was super fun. Super fun snook season. So like September, like right around August, September, snook season. Had a blast, caught a bunch of them. So that was super fun.
Yeah.
Excited for 2019 to do it, and using the podcast as an excuse to get it on film. Because, yeah, you kind of remember it, but especially the snook fishing, like a lot of that stuff's late at night. You're not, like, oh, I remember it. But a year later, do you really remember it? Like, kind of.
We're sitting here talking about this stuff. I not that I forgot about any of this, but I forgot about it.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels like so long ago, but.
For sure.
Really? When did we go to the Gulf Coast? Was that 2017?
Yeah, I think that was 2017.
I think that was 2017. But we had a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. Nice, man. All right.
Sorry, I'm looking at pictures now.
Gotcha. Put it away. Put it away.
Telling you. Here's another Lake Ida picture. That was out with Captain Andy Morgan on Andy's fired up fishing charters. Kind of nice.
He runs a fishing charter now, huh?
Private charter.
Private charter.
We went out to Ida again and caught some clown knives. Hooked into a clown knife that was just retardedly big.
Nice.
I mean, like an 11-pounder.
Jesus.
Is what we
That's
what
full
we referred
grown
to
right
it.
there.
Now, we didn't get our hands on it.
Yeah.
But I know it was
not a clown knife. That's a clown machete.
It was a clown machete. It was huge, man. That was the first time we'd ever hooked into them, really, and it was pretty cool. Those fish are nuts.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get some of that. I want to get back down there on some of that action.
For sure. All right, I'm gonna step away for a second, but then we're gonna talk about that your spring trip, man, that you just did.
Where are you stepping away to?
Right there. Don't you worry about it.
Dog.
I'll be right back.
We're just gonna leave me here by myself with the viewers?
You got it.
Well, I'll run through some more pictures then. How about that? So we talked about the crubera and the mutton snapper that I shot. Both of those fish were on here. Let me find those real quick if I can. So here's some of the muttons. The one on the, let's see, I guess that would be the left. That's the bigger one that I shot that trip. That was over in Andros. That was a freaking heck of a time. Here's Rodman and I romping out in the Corbett area. I don't know if these are focusing at all, but whatever. It's all good fun. We got the Jeep running. You could definitely let us know if you want to see some videos of that Jeep. We've also got a old Bronco that we mess around with. We talk about it every now and then, threaten to bring those things on the podcast at some point. But that was us getting our roots in Corbett. I was showing a picture of the Jeep flying through the water out at Corbett.
Nice. And man, that too for 2019 is getting back to wrenching on trucks, man. It's been a little bit. I think life got life's got a way of controlling the flow sometimes. But we got to bring that back. A little garage life back.
And how fun was that particular trip of like taking the Bronco, which is just a clap trap. Is that
what? What?
I don't know the definition of that
We
word.
fully rebuilt that transmission, and I think it was like 200 horsepower to start with. We put 100 shot of nitrous in it. That thing is freaking we're all about it.
That is not, actually that's probably a good name for the Bronco, but not the definition is absurd or nonsensical talk or ideas. That's a good. That's pretty much sums up the Bronco. But yeah, so we rebuilt the transmission in that thing, got it running, put a nitrous kit on it, and then same with the Jeep YJ that I pulled up in that picture. That thing's got a turbo kit on it and put new tires on it. Got that thing running. What is that?
It's a Bronco. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, look at that, man.
Look at that thing.
Thing's a beauty.
Beauty. Plus a bunch of nitrous. Come on.
We wrenched these things into somewhat running pretty well. Drove them from Okeechobee Boulevard, like way east, like downtown West Palm.
Yeah, downtown West Palm.
To Corbett, JW Corbett area, which is like, how many miles do you think? And not only that,
45-minute drive at least.
Freaking Christy took us all the way to the north entrance.
Oh, I forgot.
Which is up Beeline all the way to Jupiter.
Is it? Yeah. That was an hour and a half drive.
Yes, absolutely. That was an awful drive. On the road
and
in two unregistered vehicles
with
no lights.
And just running straight headers. That was the loudest freaking drive of my life. My ears are shot. Like I've committed to hearing aids as an old man because of that.
The Bronco's exhaust cut off at the headers. The Jeep is just a dump pipe out the front fender, right behind the front wheel, just dumped straight out the back of the turbo and out the front wheel. So that was, drove all the way out there, trailed him for a little bit, ran him. Yeah. We got
did some wheeling.
What we thought was some good mud into a bone stock Subaru Outback station wagon. Loaded with probably 10 dudes, flies through the same thing of mud that we're romping through.
What's
no
crazy
problem.
is that Subaru was like halfway to the door handle. Like the thing wheels buried in the mud, and it just
still going,
cruising,
no problem.
No, and the guy's like, "Hey, anything deeper?" We're like, "No, man. Like we ain't pulling you out." No, but I mean, so we went through some. It was mostly like hard bottom swamp, but it was all wet. That was fun too. It wasn't super muddy, but
Bronco caught on fire once.
Yep, Bronco caught on fire once. That'll happen.
And then we drove all the way back home to freaking West Palm.
We need a trailer.
We do.
Is what it comes. 2019 is the year of the trailer.
Yeah. What do you mean driving two mudded out open header?
No license plate.
No license plate. No headlights. No tail lights. No blinkers. All the way from Jupiter to downtown West Palm is a bad idea?
I think so.
I know.
They turned some heads.
We made it.
No
problem.
Yep. All right. So yeah, back to wrenching. So yeah, 2019 year of the garage. Definitely get some of that in there. Let's see. I got some notes. Let's see what else. So yeah. So in the short future, scouting. I definitely want to get back to scouting Corbett. I want to try to pull tags for Ala Plata, so really scouting Ala Plata and scouting Three Lakes, where I can both do permit and like non-quota hunting. So just a bunch of scouting, and we'll take you guys on to that. What's awesome about the scouting is I can bring the wife and kids. We went small game hunting / scouting out in Corbett the other day with the kids. It was freaking awesome. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's the winter, man. So on non-front days, it's nice and cool. It's 7 degrees outside. Today was perfect. It's cold, no clouds, beautiful day to scout, and everything's going to be alive out there. You're just going to see, whether it's game animals or not, you're just going to see a ton of wildlife. So getting out there and scouting, that's a freaking blast.
My short term is getting out and getting some freaking pompano. Because there are pompano up in the river, and I've been out once, didn't catch any. My parents have been out a few times. They haven't caught any. Andy has been gone for however 8 months, whatever it is, out on some ship somewhere. Second day he's home, goes out and is just catching pompano like it's nothing. Like right in front of my parents' house, like, oh, got one, guys.
Nice. No, definitely got to do that. And, with it being winter, the ocean's nasty. We went sail fishing. Today's Monday. We went on Sunday. Sail fishing, and it was like 6 to 8 out there. It's freaking snotty. Luckily we were on a beautiful like 64 Hatteras, so we're able to handle conditions. But that's that. A little contender ain't that ain't no fun in that.
I'll tell you,
Or at least it's not as much fun as bailing pompano in the river.
yeah, which is so, and those things eat so well. Here's one thing for 2019 I want to get.
Let's hear it.
Chairs, because these freaking buckets aren't cutting it.
We are sitting on 5-gallon buckets right now, but they fit the tables freaking beautifully.
The height is perfect.
The height is money.
The comfort, not so much.
You're just gonna get a little pillow, a little butt pad. Get a little hemorrhoid cushions. That's what you need right there.
I feel like we've made so many improvements, but really, I feel like we've taken a step back because we came from like reclining padded office chairs with lumbar support to 5-gallon buckets. What are we doing?
Just a little pillow.
Priorities.
Priorities, exactly. So scouting, that's definitely that. I want to just really take advantage of the Springs and the Gulf Coast this winter too. So you just came back from the Springs.
Yep.
A little chilly.
A little chilly.
Nice.
Yeah. So we
got anything else on that?
Yeah. I'm building up the anticipation.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, this weekend was a massive double, almost a triple set of cold fronts that came through. You get a little rain on the back half of the cold front once it starts warming up again sometimes. So we got a cold front came through, rained on everything, got pretty cold, maybe in the 50s at night, something like that. We got the rain on the back half of that, and then just the freaking cold front of the year, storm-wise, came through, just dumped so much rain, and we went up to Jenny, or as the locals call it, Jenny Springs. They say it more like Jenny. Like Jenny. I don't know if those sound the same on microphone. Like, I love you, Jenny. That style. And it was in the 30s at night. And it was started raining probably, I don't know. I mean, we went to bed so late, it was hard to tell what time it actually was. But probably 6 or 7 in the morning started raining lightly. So it wasn't too bad. But it was freaking cold. We got there at like 1 in the morning. We dove at like 1:45, 2 in the morning. Froze our asses off going back and forth between, there's 2 like springs areas you can dive there.
Yeah.
Really cool diving. We had a bunch of these little loom cubes, which if you've never messed around with these things, they're really cool. They're like 1,200 or 1,300 lumens, something like that, out of a tiny little square. Super diffused light, lights up the entire spring. So not only like going, not that I support cave diving of any means, definitely do not go in overhead environments while free diving. Very bad. But outside of the cave, just kind of spreading them around. I had 2 of them, and you can kind of like hold them to the point where the angle of the light is just starting to touch. There's no hot spot on these things, so it's just a wide, diffused light, and it lights up the entire Jenny Springs area because the water's so clear. It's just like, it was incredible. And then we did place some like strategically inside of the cave entrance there, and it lights up the entire room on the inside, so you can kind of look in there, and it's just insane. I mean, that the main Jenny Spring, the cave cavern right there, is huge. It is a massive space. Really, really cool to see.
That's awesome. How far of a drive is it from here?
It was a little over 4 hours.
Gotcha. So it's a haul, but it is beautiful, man. All those photos looked awesome, and hopefully we can put some video together for it.
Yeah.
For it later.
We dove with our buddies Tommy and Kevin.
Yeah.
Avid viewers of the podcast. They're probably watching right now, I would assume. We've got 2 people watching. It's probably both of them. But yeah, it was a really good time. We dove with Christy and Allie. Both of them are also working at Florida Freedom.
Mullet Mafia.
The Mullet Mafia.
The Mullet Mafia. But yeah, man, it looked like fun was had by all, and there's no diving anywhere else. It was 6 to 8 out here, and honking 30 knots maybe. We that Sunday morning, woke up early to go fishing. I came around the corner, and Donald Trump's, I can see his flag from where we live. And when I say his flag's probably 60 feet long. It's like the biggest car dealership flag you've ever seen. And if it's like moving, like if you can see like a little wiggle in it, you're like, ooh, it's a little breezy. This thing was just starch straight. I've never seen anything like it before. And I was like, oh, damn, it's going to be a good one. And we brought the kids out too. So it was a...
nice. How'd that go?
It was like pouring rain and 6 to 8. So
just put him inside with the...
Yeah, as soon as you go inside, I mean, it's a beautiful boat. It's still rocking a little bit. The baby got seasick. Luke, the coyote was fine. But
the coyote, is that what you call him now?
Yeah, the coyote was fine. The domesticated canine, he got a little seasick.
Gotcha. That's a good description of the two of those boys.
I love both of them, but just for different reasons.
One's a feral cat, and one's like a 15-pound Persian.
Yeah, exactly.
Sitting in a fluffy bed purring.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Yeah, one's 3, one's a year and a half, and they weigh the same. But yeah, so where were we? That I would love to go back to the Gulf Coast, man. We gotta figure that out. Whether it's us trailing our other boat, one of our boats over, getting with Eddie. You know, as soon as grouper season opens up over there, I definitely want to start taking advantage of that. It's not that far, and the spearfishing's insane. It's insane. So definitely want to do.
Been seeing there's videos of guys shooting like really good sized gags, like big gags, 20, 25 pounders. Maybe not that big, but up to 20 pounds, let's say, out of like 10, 15 feet of water.
It's insane.
All natural bottom, just like big rocks and ledges and caverns and stuff. Super shallow, with just huge gags swimming everywhere. Crazy.
It's awesome.
I want in on that action.
Yeah, right. So that I definitely want to. We kind of talked about scouting, but dialing in my on land hunting. So making sure that all my permits are in order, making sure that I'm fully scouted. You know, that I'm not just trying to like spot and stalk and
we're not putting our stuff together the night before.
Yeah, getting lucky. Like just taking everything to the next level. And that includes the Bahamas. I'm definitely trying to make a good Bahamas push. It's something that I've missed out on the past couple years. Kids are a little bit older now. They can take it. They've gone every summer, but they can hack it for longer stretches now. I have the opportunity, as far as work goes, to be over there a little bit longer. So I'm really trying to take advantage of the opportunity and stay over there. So I'd love to get like a longer stretch of time, like a 10-day or 2 weeks, a couple of those.
I've got one awesome trip coming up in 2019 towards the end of summer to the Azores, which I'm super excited about. Kind of a family trip, but I'm going to I'm going to end up staying at an Airbnb by myself for like 2 to 3 days and just shore diving and shooting fish and eating fish in the Azores.
Sounds terrible.
Sounds amazing.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be a really cool trip. Plan on getting some video from all of that as well.
Oh, for sure. That's a trip of a lifetime right there.
Heck yeah. I'm super excited. It just kind of like not came together, but dates were finalized today, which was
really
pretty exciting. Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You got family over there?
Yes.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
I knew there was some connection with you with that place, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is.
So my mom's side of the family my mom's dad's side of the family originates from the Azores.
Cool.
So apparently we still have family over there. I don't know who they are or where they live, what their names are.
But they have Airbnb, and that's all you need to know. What else? I went down to the Keys last week and just had a blast, man. So dialed in with some really good guys down there. Check out Forever Young Spearfishing. Tony and Jeff are great guys to go out with. And just, not only professionals, but just good guys that know the area really well. I'm excited to see what can happen with that. Got the rest of the winter to go chase wahoo, see what happens with that. Gotta wait till like the back end of a cold front, that north wind. They don't really bite quite as good down there, so waiting for the weather to figure itself out a little bit, and then go spend the night down there and do it right. We've tried it a couple times in the past, and I never felt like I had the place truly dialed. And so for the first time, I feel like I got like a better option. We'll see. It could all blow up, For me, for whatever reason, the Keys is like my freaking unicorn, man. That place. Whenever I think like, all right, this is the Keys trip that I've been waiting for, something happens. Whether it's chasing wahoo or going lobstering, we either get weathered out or the fish don't want to, play the game. Whatever it is, the Keys just, it's always fun. It's absolutely gorgeous, but for whatever reason, it hasn't really happened. I'd love to go down there and do like a two-part episode where it's like a stone crab wahoo or something like that. Would be freaking good. A little inshore, offshore, something like that.
That would be cool.
That'd be super fun. And if one doesn't hit, hopefully the other does, and we could still not only have fun, because fun would be had by either way, but it would make it a good video too.
Yeah.
Something.
It's been a while since I've dove the Keys.
Yeah.
Real dove it.
Yeah.
You and I went down and did a wahoo trip. Was that last year?
That was in 2018. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went down and did that, but it was a half-day trip, like sort of day trip, not really a day trip. We weren't out for very long, but we drove down and drove back up the same day, essentially. So
nothing essentially about it.
Yeah, it was
down
just
to freaking Key West.
It was a limited drive or a limited time frame.
I think it was same time there as same time as it was in the car. It's crazy. But even that was fun. It's just that's the kind of Keys trips that I'm talking about. Everything was planned out, and it just wahoo never really showed up. So
yeah,
that's spearfishing, But I'm waiting for like everything to come together for the Keys.
Your camera is just bothering me.
Why?
See how crooked we're looking here?
No, I can't tell. You gotta tell me.
That's good. That's good.
All right.
It's gonna work its way back over, so you just gotta keep an eye on it.
Maybe that.
Technical difficulties with Rodman Lees.
I know. Switch to your screen. Hotkey that thing over.
No, it looks good. You look good right now. You looking tan. You got that part going. You got that teacher look.
I wonder why. I'm on that teacher life now. You know what I mean?
Nice. What else? What else are you planning in 2019? What are you brewing on?
So what do we cover? So I have the opportunity to hunt 2 different leases. So private land for the first time since I was a kid. My grandfather had he owned an orange grove growing up.
Yeah.
So that was his deal. He wound up selling it. I think he turned like 70 and wound up selling it, or 65 or something like that, and wound up getting rid of it for whatever reason. I think it wound up getting canker. So he wound up getting a check from the government, which is kind of good. I think he was the last person to get a payout. Like literally, the family legend at least, he was the very last person to get a canker payout. But so growing up, we got to hunt that, and so a ton of pigs. They'd manage deer on it a little bit. It wasn't high fenced, but the orange grove wasn't. But there was some property next to it and he'd bring in what's the best way to put it? I guess it was managed, just not very well, but got to shoot stuff growing up out there, which is fun, not to make it, I guess to make it easier. I think public land's maybe a little bit more rewarding, but it's nice to go out there and see animals. I think a lot of people, maybe me and other people, disagree on the purpose of high fence, for example, where everyone's like, oh, a high fence, that's a giant pen. And in some sense they're right, but I don't think of the high fence as keeping the deer in as much as it's keeping other hunters out. The reason why you don't see monsters in Corbett is because anything that's 3 years old gets shot.
Yeah.
There's nothing is able to grow.
And not only that, too, it keeps, like, to truly manage a herd on a property, it has to be high fenced.
Yeah.
If you have constant movement of animals in and out, whether it's deer or predators like coyotes and bears and stuff like that, like a really well managed high fence ranch is going to have a super controlled herd of coyotes, and to the point where the coyotes aren't really controlling the population of deer as much as the hunting is.
Yeah.
So that's like the whole basis around it. It's like you're saying, it's just makes it easier to manage the actual population of animals. You have a better idea of how many animals are there, so it gives you a better idea of how many animals you can actually take off the property.
For sure. And the general age of the animals, you're letting them get mature before you're taking them. You can increase or decrease eugenics as you see it. You can take cull bucks, stuff like that. So I'm really excited.
Its advantages,
sure. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to hunt 2 different leases. We'll see what happens with it. It's one of those things where it's not my lease, so it's out of my control a little bit. Where Corbett's, 3 lakes. If I got the time, I can go out and hunt it. There's no one stopping me.
That sounds way better now.
Ooh, there you go. And there's no one stopping me. So I'm definitely looking forward to both that public land and Corbett hunting. If you're trying to get into hunting in 2019, by all means, freaking do it. You got to there's like a couple steps. Got to take the hunter safety course.
Yeah.
Once you take the hunter safety course, all that paperwork has to go through. Once you're good to go with the hunter safety, you get your hunting permit. Boom, get the Florida Gold Sportsman, just covers all your bases. Then you go out to find
that was kind of gross.
Yeah, it is what it is. You find the WMA brochure. Every WMA is different, and if you just type in Florida hunting seasons, that's for private land. Each WMA will have its own hunting season, so go and find out what that hunting season is on that and what the restrictions are. That brochure gives you the broadest of inaccurate photos, but general dates. Once that happens, go to the hunter check-in station and talk to the FWC guy. That is what they are there for. They're not there to bust you or to give you a hard time. Those guys are like, I don't know if they're volunteers or what their deal is, but they're not like full officers. And they're basically there to answer questions and document kills. They've heard, you're not going to ask them the stupidest question they've ever heard. You're not going to ask them the stupidest question they've heard that morning. Just go and ask them.
Well, you might.
Just go and ask them what the deal is, and they'll explain it to you. If you ask them where a good place to hunt is, that probably ain't going to happen. But as far as what's been shot, roughly where, and what the procedures are, they're a perfect person to talk to. Most of the animals, the hardest part is most of the animals can't be gutted in the field. You got to bring the entire animal back. So that's like the only, that part was weird to me. Like I understand that you got to like keep the sex on the animal. Like I get that, but taking out like 40 pounds of gut makes the trip a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Like most of the weight is freaking gut.
What would make a cool video is how to we should build like a public land rig, like a little trailer with a bicycle and just have build a rig that you can get game out from deep in public land, just to make it easier.
You ever seen those gas powered carts?
Yeah.
Dude, those things are freaking money.
Have you ever seen the snowmobiles that aren't really snowmobiles? They're just a motor. It looks like a lawn, like a ride or a push mower, like a self-propelled push mower. And as the driver, you just stand in a Rubbermaid piece of a Tupperware, roped to the back of the thing, and you just drive yourself around. It's just, instead of a push mower, it's one big tread in the front.
That's kind of perfect for Corbett.
Right?
Just a giant tank tread.
I wonder what the legality of that is.
You need that, but a life ring instead of a Tupperware.
Yeah.
Something a little bit of flotation on it.
That'd be sweet.
A mini John boat. Like a half this table's with a 2-foot John boat is what you need.
That's essentially what this thing is that they're towing themselves around in. It's like a tow sled.
Yeah,
So it looks like a little boat, but for snow. It's really cool.
That would,
you gotta check it out.
It would look ridiculous, but that would work in Corbett.
Yeah.
It's so swampy there.
Yeah. Those things are amazing.
So that, and then dialing in duck hunting even more. This season I was able to dial it. I at least had all the equipment necessary for it. But dialing in the spots, I was always a believer that one spot's as good as another out the STAs. Nah.
I gotta pull this up here. Check this out. So this is what this thing would be perfect, dude. It's literally a tank. This dude's sitting in a piece of Tupperware.
Can you screen capture that?
Yeah, it's being screen captured right now.
Nice.
Boom.
Oh my god. And it's already got camo on it. It's ready to go.
We gotta get one. Can we? I feel like they only make these in Alaska.
No, dude, that is Canadian. Look at that guy. That is a Canadian dude right there.
That dude drinks Keystone.
Good fishing in Quebec, eh?
All right. Oh, there's a spearfishing video. Back to this. Double cam. Boom. Here, since we're here on screen capture, I want to do this again in 2019. I want to go back here.
Oh!
Oh, that's loud.
Oh.
We'll take the volume off of that. I don't think they could hear it anyway. Let's go back out to the oil rigs and shoot some freaking cobia.
I'm game.
That's Vince.
It's their massive tuna run right now. Not massive as in the numbers, but this is their fatty tuna run.
Yeah. Here's my favorite one from the whole trip. Next one after this. Funk. God, can't beat it. All right, get back in your bucket.
Let the booty cheeks breathe a little bit.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I might do the same.
All right.
There we go. So anyway, a little bit, basically just what to expect for 2019, I guess you could say.
And all that stuff, hopefully we can videotape it, make some content out of it.
Exactly.
But yeah, if you're trying to plan your 2019, find new spots, find new ways to get outdoors. If you got any questions on any of that stuff, feel free to ask, man. We're trying to get as many people outdoors as possible. Whatever that is. Is that duck hunting, hog hunting, deer hunting, rod and reel fishing, going sail fishing, snook fishing, pompano fishing, whatever it is. Or spearfishing around here locally, our bread and butter. Ask away, and
that's what we want to open this channel up to.
Yeah.
Is kind of bringing in
all the stuff we like to do. Why limit it?
Yeah. I want to start a new series called Full Circle. We'll see. We'll talk about that. I like the name, but to me, it kind of brings in, like you were talking about when we first started this episode, was why do you spearfish? Why is it something that you're gonna continue to do? Or why do we want to go hunting? Or why do we want to go fishing? It all comes down to that full circle, man. The work that goes into it, the scouting, the harvesting of the animal is just a fraction of the experience.
For sure.
So bringing that thing all the way around from start to finish, full circle to your table, and then you poop it out and it goes back in the earth.
That's 100% full circle right there.
That's the real people talk about the full circle, but they leave out little. It's 5 degrees of the circle at the very end.
That's almost like a figure 8 at that point.
But yeah, that's what we're all about, and that's what we're gonna try and do in 2019 is get back in touch with why we do what we do.
Nice. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. If you want to see anything in 2019, you got a trip location that you want to go to, we'll put a trip together. You want to see us answer some questions, review some gear, whatever the hottest gear of 2019 is, let us know. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.